you should be?
The story we've sort of thought about is that we've got a fair bit of work to do, but our best is pretty good. And I think, we probably saw a bit of both of those things tonight. We lost a lot of statistics that says we shouldn't win that game. We got a touch-up, a clearance, lost the inside 50 count by 10. We not only lost contested possession by 20, we also lost the tackles by close to that as well. So there's a lot of area that needs attention for us, but we're able to kick 111 points and win the game. So that part makes me happy, but some of the underlying stuff, we've got some work to do.
So the headline out of that then, given those numbers, is like it's a huge tick for your efficiency, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that we had some sort of key moments that some key players, key moments, thought they handled some of those things pretty well. Holistically, I think Essendon, I haven't heard any of them, Scotty's press conference, but I imagine there's some parts of the game they would have been pretty happy with. But we just were able to, we had enough of a lead to be able to sort of hold them off, but we had some key moments that were important. And in seasons like this, you're going to have to win some games where you lose some stats, but it's not sustainable to keep winning in that style.
It's a small sample size, but do you feel like how you've won the last couple of weeks is an evolution on how you're winning in the second half of last year in grinding these out against some opposition that have come at you at different stages?
Yeah, I think as we mature as a team, we have to handle momentum, and that was a big issue for us over the journey. And not to say we got it all right today, but we are slightly better at handling momentum. When they got a bit of a run on, we were able to execute a couple of things that gave us, a bit of time and a bit of consistency in the way we played. Still got a fair bit of work to do. I think, we saw some evidence last year that when we stick to something, we work hard on it, we make improvements, and we know that we've got to make more if we want to compete against the best when it really matters. And today, we were able to do some good stuff in some key moments, but holistically, if you look at that game, that's not going to get it done.
Just want to ask you a couple about the speed of this side. I asked Brad Scott this. Do you think leg speed in the game has become even more important in the last year or two?
I think there's a time and a place to use your speed, and there's a time it's not as necessary. I think being able to cover for speed is important, and you need some players who have got it. We thought we had a little bit of trouble with some of their quicker types as well today. I think probably Caldwell is more of a accumulator, but I thought his inside contest work was absolutely first class tonight, and really he's probably the best player on the ground, I thought. And then Zach Merritt's speed to get from the inside to the out just really taught us a bit of a lesson today. So we've got some speed on the outside that helps us, and we got a couple of goals out of it. I thought, there was a couple of plays from individual players where they used the leg speed, but it's a big part of the game and didn't suit me back in the day, so I'm pretty glad that it's more important now than it was.
Well, is this the quickest side you've been involved with as a player or coach?
I think every team has got enormous amounts of speed somewhere, and part of a coach's job is trying to find ways to use it. And I think our players have got a license to play with the strengths they have, and those guys who are quick show us.
Is the speed also from the way when your skills are really good, you move the ball faster on top of the speed, so your leg speed, so you've got that double effect of the ball's just travelling faster?
Yeah, I think, there's different types of speed. There's running speed, but there's also brain speed. So, we've got some players that are pretty good in one or both of those areas.
With James Worpel out, were you happy with the games of Cam McKenzie and also Josh Ward?
I'll have to have a look. I think our midfield got a bit of a touch-up, to be honest. We lost clearance count by 20 odd, and I thought they were a bit cleaner. Their ball handling, I thought, was a bit better than ours across the day. So there's a bit of work to do across the midfield. Obviously, those two young guys, I was really pleased that they were able to play full games, get great minutes in, and look comfortable at the level. I thought they both had those moments where you're like, he's going to be a very good AFL player. And that's what you're after with those guys who have sort of played less than 50 games, is more and more of those moments where you say, it's pretty good.
Of John Newcomb's 25 disposals, 20 were kicks. Was that a particular focus for him throughout the week?
No, it wasn't. I guess it was quite a sweaty dewy type of game. So I think taking a bit more territory, we could have done it better. I thought we overused the ball and let them put more and more pressure on us at times. So he probably just followed the instruction a bit better than some of the others. We probably would have liked to take a bit more territory in the game, knowing that their pressure is very, very good and was quite consistent through the game. So when we're able to get the pressure off ourselves, we looked a bit better. But being able to withstand it in these early rounds is really important, and as well as being able to inflict it on the opposition. And they won the tackle count and the contested possession, so you have to say they won that part of the game.
Just on that a bit. Sorry.
Big one last week, and again this, 6 days later or 7 days later. How hard is it to manage that early on? I know they're coming off a pre-season.
I missed the very start
the
of
physical side of it.
Oh, the physical side.
Early on with it being so fast and furious, the footy.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're fortunate in an AFL environment. There's a lot of good people that work in that area, and it's definitely not my area of expertise. So our, fitness and medical teams, they work pretty hard. There's GPS on every player for every session that they do. So they have an understanding of what the players are capable of and how much training loads we need to do, how much physicality we need during the week. We obviously have a game on Thursday again, so there'll probably be pretty limited training this week. It was quite a physical game tonight, I thought. So, I'll let the bakers bake. Those guys are very, very good at what they do, and if the coaches want to train more and they want to train less, we train less.
What's the severity of Jack Scrimshaw's facial injury?
He's got concussion, so sort of there's 12 days on, so he'll certainly miss the next game, and he had some other sort of stuff going on, but nothing's been confirmed at this stage, so he'll get checked out over the next couple of days, and it's pretty hard for his family and stuff to see injuries like that. They're just unfortunate in the game that we play. So fortunate that he was, still talking and chatting away in the rooms, and said to me at half time, make sure you get the win. So he's still sort of with us, and pleasing because it looked quite nasty.
He hasn't gone to hospital or anything like that?
Oh, I don't know. Couldn't answer that. I'm not sure.
I know no game is more important than another, but given the start last year, which ultimately cost you a high finish, have you put any greater premium on starting well this season, or have you addressed it with the group?
Not really. I think, if I'm really honest, I find the pre-season quite difficult to predict. I think a bit like everyone else, you hope what you've done is going to set you up for success, but you don't really know until you get evidence by playing against opposition. And when we played our practice games, there was some levels of concern, but some things that we liked, and obviously over the last couple of weeks you say, okay, we've got some things right this year that perhaps we had altered from last year. So I think the team that put the pre-season, that planned the pre-season, there's a lot of people that go into that, and we did some learning from last year, and we've made adjustments, and it seems like it's in a bit of a better place, but it is round one.
Sam, from the coaching perspective, you must have been really happy the way when you went forward. Last week it was Sicily that you swung forward. This week, Josh Weddle. What was the thinking behind that, and also the praise for Connor Nash, another polished performance by himself?
Yeah, I think Josh Weddle is I thought we lacked a bit of energy in the game. He just looked a bit flat, and there was a lack of sort of vibrancy about us. And you're playing in front of 80,000 at the MCG on a Friday night. It didn't make sense. So I was saying, how can we get some energy into this game? And Josh Weddle is one of those infectious characters that he runs, and he just makes everyone else around him run. So really, we moved him forward to try and create a bit of a spark for us. And sure enough, he bobbed up and kicked a really important goal for us. And I think he's very important in that controlling energy narrative that you need when you're playing. Long game goes for a long time, so you need those players. And Connor Nash, I was rapt that he was able to have such a significant influence on the game. He shut down a couple of their players for small periods of the game. He was able to have a good influence himself as an individual, but he also brought a level of physicality that we've come to expect when perhaps some others struggled with that part of the game tonight. So 100 games for an Irishman, I know that he's very proud of that, and I think we're all pretty proud to have seen him play in it.